I know everything happens in South Florida, where there's a lot of violence, both off and on the field, the ice, or on the court. And when athletes get in trouble, do they get a fair shake? Or should they?
Some would argue it all started with this guy and his trial of the century. Most of us know the story of former NFL All-Star turned movie star O.J. Simpson, who would be acquitted of 2 murders in Los Angeles. And he would move to South Florida, of course. But it wouldn't be long before he was arrested again in Las Vegas for being linked to an armed robbery involving sports memorabilia he claimed was stolen from him. A group of men with him got probation, immunity, or their sentence overturned. O.J. is serving 9 to 33 years in prison. Former Hurricane and Seattle Seahawk Brian Blades fatally shot his cousin in Plantation. A jury convicted him of manslaughter and a Broward judge overturned it, which was upheld on appeal. Gator turned New England Patriot Aaron Hernandez is serving a life sentence for murder. A grand jury indicted him for 2 more. But these are extreme cases.
Then, of course, Cassius Clay got arrested for driving without a license. There was a bench warrant out. So you can't ignore a bench warrant, so he had to go to jail. And they took him in, and absolutely gracious gentleman. I mean, just everybody appreciated it. I got in trouble because I let him out the back door. And the media was outside, and I let him out the back door. So they didn't like that too much.
What about guys like then World Series champion manager Tony La Russa getting arrested for drunk driving in Palm Beach County? Or then Miami Heat forward James Posey getting arrested in Miami Beach for DUI? Or then Miami Dolphin Chad Johnson for headbutting his wife? Or then Florida Panthers goalie Mark Fitzpatrick for domestic violence? Or then Marlins pitcher Leo Nunez for age and identity fraud because he was really Juan Carlos Oviedo?
Well, they should be held to a higher standard because they're in the public spotlight. Unfortunately, their job puts them there, so they need to be extra careful. It may not necessarily be fair, but they're making a lot more money than the average person, so sometimes there's things that come with that.
In basketball, if things get rough on the court, maybe you get a technical foul, maybe you get thrown out, a suspension may follow, a fine. In football, if there's a personal foul like roughing the quarterback, you can get a 15-yard penalty, maybe a suspension, maybe a fine. In hockey, if a player gets into a fight, he gets 5 minutes in the penalty box. If you or I got into a fight in a bar, we're looking at up to 5 years in prison.
Of course, NHLer Brendan Shanahan was not sentenced to prison when he got into a fight at a bar in Fort Lauderdale in 1995. He was arrested for trespassing, but teammates called it horseplay. He was freed from jail on a $25 bond. It may be apples and oranges where athletes and police are concerned, but it's still food for thought.
Dolphins on top, 3-0 back to you.
No, I think that everybody should be treated the same regardless. You know, if it's something minor, trivial, maybe you're going to catch a break because somebody recognizes you, but should you be able to get away with a crime because you're a football player, or should you be treated any differently because you ran a red light and the cop wants to make an example of you because you're a football player or an NBA player? No, I don't think that should matter. I don't think that should be the way. You should enforce the law universally, and everyone should try and follow the law universally.
With another episode of South Florida's Dubious History, I'm Wayne Roustan for the Sun Sentinel.